All right, everyone, we're here and we're back. It is spring 2025. We're here in Austin, Texas, and I'm gonna take you through what's in my bag. All right, first off, let's start off with the bag itself, because after 10 years with grip equipment, I made the switch to use MVP's in-house bags. This is the James Conrad World Champion Edition Voyager backpack. And there's a lot of things I really like about it. For one, this huge putter pocket on top. I can fit 6 discs super comfortably. I could fit 1 or 2 more if I really tried. So that's really nice. I think all in all, it fits a bit more discs in general than I was used to. So far, no problem adapting to this new bag. I am putting with the Simon Line Electron Firm Pixels. And these are all identical, max weight. I asked MVP to do me the favor to give me some white on whites, meaning white flight plate, white rim, just because the way I grew up, white putters was the way to go, and I wanted to stick with that. And I asked for pink on black with the stamp, and they just absolutely nailed it. These are beautiful, and so far this season, minus 1 round, I've been putting very well, so I'm very happy with these. They're on the firmer side, but in this warm weather, it's kind of nice to have something that holds up to the sun and the heat. So, Simon Line Pixel, favorite putter ever. On to my throwing putters. I have 4 currently. Of course, the one and only Glitch. This is a 151 gram with a special stamp. Shout out Drehmoment Bremen, which is my home club from back in Germany. And yeah, been their member for, I don't know, 20-ish years. So it's good to have this in the bag. Lucky charm. Don't use it too much in tournaments, of course, but no bag is complete without the Glitch. Then we have 3 throwing putters, understable, stable, overstable. Kind of, you'll see that theme throughout the bag, of course. Kind of want everything for any kind of situations. First off, understable, we have the Neutron Spin. The Spin is very understable, right out of the bag. Just an extremely understable putter. I use it for some touchy up shots, some shots where I have to actually start on hyzer and the disc should flip, or maybe all the way even go to turn. And what's unique about this is that it has a rounded inner rim. So on most normal discs, there is like a straight edge or a corner where the rim meets the flight plate. And on the Spin, it's rounded. So it's a nice little feel here for the pinky and the tucked pointer. Just feels a little different, a little odd, but I like it. Then my straight approach putter is the Particle Glow Proton Silva Saarinen Edition Proxy. Just love this disc. It's actually soft Proton, so this is on the gummy side. It is very grippy. I've had some grip issues in the heat with these, but it flies so straight and so true. I actually threw one of my favorite shots of the year so far with it on 17 in Waco. So just pretty disc, glows in the dark, and yeah, the Proxy just as straight and shoot as it gets. Then for the overstable putter shots, kind of a scramble disc or utility disc if you want. This is the Neutron Entropy. Also max weight, of course, pretty flat, almost concave, but just pretty much board flat, and just very overstable. Doesn't come out too much again. I would use it for shorter forehands maybe that I wanted that swing to the right. Some upshots in the wind, it's obviously nice. and I can hammer on this as hard as I want, and it will not even be tempted to turn or flip. It'll just go straight and then dump left. Entropy, pretty great upshot putter. Well, disc golf has taken me through many parts of the world, and some really cool ones like the fjords of Norway obviously stand out. Japan was unbelievable, really loved it over there. New Zealand, Australia, just these places that seem so far away are of course really special. I really enjoy just seeing other cultures and kind of mixing in, and just other lifestyles, and what's normal for this side of the world is completely foreign to us. But at the end of the day, it all works together, and it's been really cool. I have 4 mids and 4 different molds actually. So let's start again with most understable to most overstable. This is a 179 gram Neutron Detour. This is a James Conrad signature disc, and it is just so money. One of those mid-ranges that just goes so far with so little effort, because it just has tons of glide, pretty understable, so the disc will do all the flying on itself. I use this for straight releases that I just want to kind of slowly drift from left to right. Very useful. In the wind, not too much, but on technical courses, I've been using this a lot. All right, again, no MVP bag is complete probably without the Hex. Right off the bat, my favorite mold. One of my favorite molds that I've ever thrown, and it is a point and shoot mid-range. Depending on the plastic or depending on the wear and tear on the disc, it can be dead straight, it can be on the overstable side, or it can be on the understable side. This disc can do basically anything, and we know from the vlogs, it's always a Hex. That's always the answer if in question. And this is just a very standard, stock stamped, what's the weight on this? 175 Neutron Hex. Gotta love it. Then something new and prototype in the bag. This is the version 2 of the Neutron Simon Line Balance. I am at this point about 90% certain that I'll be going for the version 2. It was kind of in between the mystery box run and the version 3 in the stability. I really wanted something that is pretty overstable out of the box and will beat into something super consistent, reliable, that you can just hammer flat, that'll give you just a reliable fade at the end. I basically wanted to create a Hex for the wind. So in windy situations, I sometimes don't really trust the Hex to hold its line. It's not really meant for that. But that's when I would pull out the Balance, and I can just rip this into a headwind, and then it should fly like the Hex in no wind. That was the idea. And so far, I'm really happy with it. Feels great. Flies great. Looking forward to the production run for these. And then probably my most utility-like disc in the entire bag, this is a meat hook. This is the Neutron Deflector, also max weight. You can just feel by the feeling of this disc that this just wants to get to the ground from right to left as fast as possible. So don't really use this too much. If I want to throw this straight-ish, I have to release it almost on a roller angle, and then it'll swing back. So it can be helpful for very specific situations, or if there's just crazy 20, 30-mile-an-hour winds, and I need something that I can just power and know exactly what it's going to do every time. Deflector. Crazy disc. Highly recommend trying one. It's really fun. Yeah, I really don't know what I'd be doing if I wasn't a full-time disc golfer. I really don't know. Maybe bartending? I could see myself doing that. Or, yeah, I really don't know. Maybe working at a golf course as a greenskeeper or something. I kind of like that, the idea of just driving around, making sure stuff looks nice. It sounds kind of fun and relaxing, right? Yeah, somehow, even though I grew up in Germany where pro disc golfer wasn't really a career, I mean, it's probably not really a career anywhere but in the US. So, but for some reason, just, I never had a doubt in my mind that I was gonna be a pro disc golfer. And I just had enough lucky, those moments in life where you're just in the right place at the right time. I had a handful of those at the right moment, at the right time, in the right place, that just all kind of made it happen. So yeah, never really looked back, never really wasted too many thoughts and ideas about what I was gonna do if it wouldn't work out. I kind of just thought, I'll make it work out. All right, let's check out the fairway drivers. I have, well, one of them is technically a distance driver, but I'll count it to my fairway drivers because my distance drivers are in a separate league. Let's start with the slowest and on the understable side, a classic Neutron Crave. This is a 6.5 speed, so a pretty small rim. And on the understable side, like I said, you want to throw it straight and it'll just slowly give you that drift from left to right. I would use this for rollers. I would use this for hyzer flip shots. I would use this for turn shots that I don't want any fade back at the end, kind of something that just holds its line all the way through the shot. Phenomenal disc, the Crave. Off next, the opposite of the Crave is the Fireball. I have actually two Fireballs in the bag right now. This is a Neutron Fireball. It's been in the bag for a while, so it's beat in. It flies relatively straight for Fireball standards. So I would rip on this. It would go straight for maybe like 300, 350, and then give me a reliable fade at the end. It actually became a bit too straight for what I want the Fireball to be. So I added this brand new one to the bag. This is a Plasma, and it's really board flat and a complete meat hook. So I actually broke this out for Waco last week. It got really windy and I needed something that's a bit faster than the deflector, but with that same characteristic that just wants to dump left, and I can rip this as hard as I want into any wind and it'll just do the same thing no matter the conditions. So don't use it too much, but if I need it, it's really good to have. 9-speed, super overstable fairway driver. Then new to the bag this season is the Proton Volt. This is a cool one. It has some metal flakes, some like gold specks, gold and silver actually, in the plastic. It looks really pretty. And this is the Tesla replacement. I wish I could actually really explain why I switched from the Tesla to the Volt, but I just kind of wanted to switch it up. It's nice just to try some new stuff. And I remember when I first switched to MVP, I really initially liked the Volt, but then the Tesla took its place. So this season, I'm giving the Volt a try and I've really been liking it so far. This has been pretty consistent, pretty overstable, and I use it for straight 350 to 400 foot shots. And I think this is my main fairway driver right now. Really nice. And then lastly, I guess technically this is an 11 speed, so not really a fairway driver, but I'll count it as that anyway. This is the Neutron Vanish max weight 175. I'm a big fan of this gray and white swirly rim. So it's just a pretty disc, and it's a -3 on turn. So it is a disc I would use mainly for rollers, for like distance rollers, or power shots that I release on pretty significant hyzer. that'll give me that flip up and ride. Again, understable discs are not the easiest to control, especially when it gets windy or you're throwing really hard. So won't come out too often, but when I need it, again, good to have. The Vanish. Yeah, my memory on tour is not that good, unfortunately. But of course, every single win I've ever gotten, I think I've only had like 10. So they're all very memorable, and I'm glad they're captured on video to watch later. I'm really stoked that I started this whole YouTube project now 7 years ago, that I can 10, 20 years from now look back at videos. I have so many videos where actually a lot of pretty cool things happened, and it's going to be fun to look back at. And yeah, I mean, my real touring years, really from 2014 through 2017, those 4 years, I'll never forget that. And I learned more in those 4 years than I could have ever learned doing anything else. Because living in an RV, traveling from city to city on a weekly basis, competing, meeting thousands of people, running clinics, and yeah, just doing what you love is like just so, it was so important that I did that. I'm glad I don't have to do it anymore, but yeah, that was the touring years, and I had the best touring mentor anyone could ever ask for with Avery Jenkins, who knows basically every corner of the US. It's pretty impressive. So yeah, I got lucky. All right, let's check out the fun toys. The Distance high-speed drivers. I have one 13 speed. This is the Neutron Panic with a pretty sweet black-yellow style die. And this is kind of my most overstable high-speed driver. I would use it for big spike hyzers where I don't want a lot of right to left movement, windy situations, something where I can really power on something and I want it to get to wherever I want to go really fast. Utility disc, that's when I would use that. Staple in the bag for sure. Now we have the big boys, the 14.5 speeds, the monster rims. Let's start off with this guy right here. So this is the Eagle McMahon Wind Dragon. This is a Fission Dimension. This one is very understable. I'm actually yet to use this in tournament, I think. Yeah, so I kind of just have it in the bag for fun shots. I could do like huge sky rollers with it. If I ever get in crazy trouble situations where I need something that's really fast and understable for like rescue forehands or backhands or some crazy rollers, that's why this is in the bag. Have not used it yet. Maybe it won't be in the bag for much longer, but it's fun to throw just because it's crazy understable. Then this is my backup. This is actually a Delirium. It's one of the older runs with the pop top. So this is just a crusher disc, has a pretty good stability for my arm speed that if I release it on some slight hyzer, it'll give me the flip up and then ride pretty straight. Just a backup for my main Dimension that I'm throwing. Again, when it gets windy, it doesn't get too much action just because it's on the more understable side, more like max distance driver side. But this is my forehand disc for any kind of distance shots and my max distance driver when it's not too windy or I have a tailwind. Yeah, older run of Dimensions. It actually still says patent pending down here. Also got the pop top, crusher disc, and then two workhorses in the bag. Basically just one I use all the time and then one backup, or if I'm worried might lose it over water or something, I'd throw this one over this one because I love this one. It's been in the bag a bit longer, and it's also neutron dimension, max weight, and just more on the overstable side. So I can trust them more in the wind. They don't go quite as far, but I mean, it's 14.5 speeds. They just get to their goal so fast that you can almost compensate to throw them a bit slower, and you still get the same amount of distance you would with a 12 or 13 speed. So I've been a huge fan of these, and I feel like they compensate for my age a bit, which is really nice. Yeah, and that's basically all. I can show you what else I have in the bag, since we not only carry discs. On this side, I have the classic birdie bag. This is for wetter days where I can't use the natural dirt, because I use a lot of natural dirt on my throwing hand. And this will just give you that dust, basically, to get good grip if it's wet, but I would prefer natural if possible. Wallet and keys. Got my Mini. This has been with me for probably almost 20 years now. 18, 19 years. Almost every tournament I've ever played, same Mini, so very special. Got a rangefinder. This is the MVP Parsec. Pretty cool, measures in feet, highly recommend. Got a long sleeve in here. Whoa. Beautiful. And got another towel up here. Got some Sharpies right here. And this left side is actually the snack side and the caddy bib side. Yeah, that's basically it. Hope you enjoyed. I can't wait for this as a season. I hope you're enjoying the content as a whole. And just a huge shout out, thank you MVP for all the support. I'm still really enjoying this process, and there's something new almost every week. And we got a couple of cool Simon line releases this year, from apparel to new discs coming out. I'm really excited for all that stuff. And yeah, this tour is gonna be no joke. I can't wait.